Hi everybody, I'm Belle Barmore and I'm doing parenting within different cultures. So parenting is a complicated force to be reckoned with because not everyone makes a good parent, because not everyone should be a parent. Parenting varies from authoritarian to authoritative to permissive to neglectful. There is also a cultural difference between types of parenting within traditions, tendencies, or norms for certain cultures. Some of these traits can be negative to a child's development. Bad behavior shown toward or around children can cause childhood trauma. This causes a cycle of good behavior or a cycle of bad behavior. If a parent is understanding and shows emotional intelligence, then the child will most likely grow up to love and respect their parents, and possibly want to use some of those traits to parent their own children. However, if a parent is strict and does not show emotional intelligence, then the children are most likely going to fear or not respect the parent and not want to pass down those traits to their own kids. Or in cases like this, it is possible that the child does not know anything else besides that harsh parenting and will continue parenting like that with their own kids. This is called a cycle of abuse, and this is just one example on how parenting in general can mold and change a child for the better or worse. Different cultures have all different types of strategies for parenting. Looking back at the article Cultural Approaches to Parenting by Mark Borstein, it gives an example of how the place you were born does matter on how you will be parented. For example, European, American, and Puerto Rican mothers of toddlers believe in the differential value of individual autonomy versus connected interdependence, a contrast that in turn relates to mothers' actual caregiving. So where European American mothers use suggestions rather than commands and other indirect means of structuring their children's behavior, Puerto Rican mothers use more direct means of structuring, such as commands, physical positioning, and restraints, and direct attempts to recruit their children's attention. Furthermore, this displays how different cultures communicate to and how they teach children to communicate. In the same article, it also states that American mothers try to promote anatomy, assertiveness, verbal competence, and self-actualization in their children, whereas Japanese mothers try to promote emotional maturity, self-control, and social courtesy, and interdependence in theirs. Leaning more into specific cultures, in the Mexican culture, familiazo is a common thing. Familiazo is a central Latinx cultural value. It involves dedication, commitment, and loyalty to family. Regularly spending time with one's immediate and extended family is part of familiazo. It also involves seeking the family's advice for important decisions. Sometimes familioso means putting the family above oneself. This can be a very good quality and trait to have. To be so family-oriented is something people look for in a partner. Where it starts to get blurry is when that person drops work or school, appointments, and other responsibilities to be with family or to obey the family's wishes. With this, there is also a term called machinismo. This term describes a man who shows exaggerated manliness, need to be dominant and superior. This can also be a common role for fathers in the Mexican culture, because the wives are typically more obedient and take care of the family and household, while the man supplies the income. This can create a toxic and sometimes abusive environment for not only the wife, but the children too. Whether they are just observing or getting the abuse as well, this can create childhood trauma that the child may grow up thinking is normal and what they should expect. Within Asian American culture, it is common for parents to be authoritarian and more directive, by using shame, guilt, and love to train kids and create social norms for them to grow up to those standards. In this culture, communication flows downward from parent to child, allowing the child no choice but to listen to their parents. However, Asian Americans are stereotyped as being the model minority. meaning that they are often stereotyped as studious, successful, smart, a model minority who excels in education and accomplishes the American dream. Because of this, there is a fear of failure, which can create a family conflict and cause a lot of stress and pressure on the children to live up to those high expectations, succeed in school, and having the right career. In general, the way a parent treats, loves, and parents a child will have a huge impact on how the child develops, communicates, and associates, and sees the world. According to a study, Indirect Effect of Family Climate on Adolescent Depression Through Emotion Regulatory Process by Fevin Obelstein, he talks about the environmental factors. In particular, family factors may influence the development of these specific emotion processes. Broadly, there is a support for the relation of family emotional climate to emotion regulation strategies such as constructive coping. For example, youth are less likely to ask a family member for help and more likely to avoid problems if their mothers consistently express anger and contempt. This demonstrates how simple things such as the way you express emotions in front of children can create distance and avoidance. In summary, nobody's a perfect parent. There are multiple different parenting tactics, tendencies, and normalities in different cultures. The most important thing is to allow the children to feel loved and safe. There is no superior way or culture that parents the best. Each culture has its own fallbacks and things to look out for when counseling different people. To be aware of differences and tendencies is the first step to helping anybody within different cultures. Thank you.